Hey, welcome to the Bitter Upper Lip. My name is Tyler. Thank you very much for joining me. So, real quick before we jump into today's review, I wanted to talk a bit more about why I'm reviewing this beer, other than having a tasty excuse to drink delicious craft beer. As pretty much everyone in this world at this point has been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, of course, one of the many casualties have been how so many small businesses have started going down the toilet because of obviously lockdown orders. People can't go out to eat, and restaurants and many other businesses are struggling to try to get people in the door, let alone to even leave their houses to embark upon getting food, drinks, anything. And small craft breweries are no different. Uh, I think right now, making the best out of a bad situation, I think this is a perfect time for all the craft beer community to try to reconnect with their small local breweries. If in a way, do it like we did 100 plus years ago, where pretty much the beer you drank was specifically regional. You weren't drinking stuff from 3, 5 states away. So, in an effort to try to, of course, do my part, and taking advantage of the fact that where I go to school now in Macon, Georgia, there's plenty of really, really good small craft breweries around here. So today I want to feature some beer from one brewery in particular. It's Piedmont Brewery and Kitchen, obviously in Macon, Georgia. They've been around since 2014. They're a brew pub. To my knowledge, I've never seen their beers on store shelves, but you can, of course, go to the brewery and they will fill growlers up. They do very limited canning of some of their beers, which you can call and pick up. Great food there. They have a variety of different types of smoked meats, which is very unique for a lot of restaurants. And they actually have a game room, and the staff are really cool. But it became a place that, when I started school in Macon, became one of my very first haunts that I went to. So they, like a lot of other businesses, are doing curbside pickups. So I thought I'd go ahead, give them a shot. Next couple of reviews are going to feature a lot of their beers. These are all beers I've never tried, so I'm going to give you my thoughts as I usually do, and we'll see what they're about. So without further ado, let's kick off today's review. Today we are going to do Out of Step Hazy Juicy IPA. So this beer comes in at ABV of 7.1 and IBUs of 45. So it is listed as a New England Style IPA, and of course, with the Hazy moniker, that's not surprising. But little backstory: the two founders of Piedmont Brewing are both ex-punk rockers. They might still think they're punk rockers potentially. I'm not sure, but they essentially coalesced their experiences of those musical adventures as a creative muse for this beer. So this beer was canned fresh at the brewery. They even give you further instructions in case you just didn't know. Simple wraparound can, the logo there on the front. But this beer, one of its features is dry hopped with a trio of 3 different types of hops. And they say it's double dry hop. So I'm thinking it means what it entails. It's 2 additions of hops at the end for aroma. So is a mixture of Citra hops, Wai-iti hops from New Zealand, and Vic Secret hops from Australia. So this is a pretty Oceania-centric IPA in New England style. So I'm very interested to see how this is. But without further ado, let's get this in a can and see what it's about. Yeah, I'm already smelling those hops. Can't help it. Okay. So you saw a pretty good general pour, about 2 fingers of head. The head is almost kind of like a vanilla pudding, kind of white, like a yellow off-white. Almost like if you've grown up on a farm, looks like fresh cream. It's got that yellow tinge to it. Very tight bubbles. Bring it up here so you can kind of see. And of course, true to its name, it's absolutely hazy. It looks basically like lemon, yeah, like a lemon, like a candied lemon, or even like farm fresh egg yolk even. Can't see any light, around it. I mean, at the very bottom of the glass, I'm seeing a little of the nucleation bubbles, but I mean, yeah, I mean, it just looks like murky pond water at this point. So, all right, let's get a whiff on it. So, one of the first things I'm smelling is not really citrus. I'm getting a lot of pine and actually like some kind of peaches in it. And as a Georgian, trust me, I know what good peaches smell like. Some general floral character that you'd expect from any kind of heavy dry hopping at the end. A little bit of a pineapple. I'm not getting any kind of like oranges or tangerines or anything like that. A little bit of apricot, actually, too. Smells like if you open a bag of dried apricots, get a bit of that smell. So yeah, peaches, grass, pineapples, and apricots. It's really the big thing I'm getting out of this. A very sweet, very fruit forward smell. I'm not really getting kind of bitterness smelling. There is a little bit of pine, but I mean, it smells very sweet fruit forward. Yeah, smells great, smells delicious. So let's get some lips on this. Cheers. So flavor right out of the gate is definitely a pineapple flavor with some grass on it. To match the smell, middle of the tongue, I'm getting some of that. It's like a peach apricot blend almost. Yeah, the juiciness part really comes through on the middle of the tongue. Front of the tongue, you're kind of getting that very pleasant hop astringency. Not bitter at all. It's a very, very bright hop character without tasting stinging or bitter at all. Again, it's more like I've got kind of pineapple juice going across the tip of my tongue. Back of the tongue, I'm getting a little bit of some bittering finish, but it's very soft. Not all tasting like a big West Coast IPA, where you just feel like your mouth has been lacquered with hop oil or anything like that. Very pleasant mouthfeel. Mouthfeel I'd expect from the style. Very light carbonation. Feel some tingling on the sides of the tongue from the bubbles, but very, very subtle. Again, it's got a very soft mouthfeel. I'm not sure what the malt bill is on this, if it's got an addition of oats or wheat or anything. I mean, I'd like to think it's, I didn't see anything saying outright that it was unfiltered, so I don't know if it's because of that straight up that it's hazy, or if it is because of some kind of different adjunct malt that they put on the bill. But it definitely has a very distinctive, smoother, kind of creamier mouthfeel in the back without tasting really heavy or anything. Like it's nothing at all tasting like there's lactose or anything. At least to me, it doesn't. Even a little bit of it coming out of the can and warming up, that pineapple from the front of the tongue is starting to mesh with the middle of the tongue, and you're just kind of getting an almost nondescript cacophony of soft fruit flavor, if you will. I'm still getting some of that peach, still getting some of that apricot. I'm not getting any kind of berries. I'm not getting any kind of apples. I'm not getting really any like orange or tangerine. It's kind of got, for lack of a term, kind of a fruit cocktail juiciness to it in a way. Um, yeah, I'm not getting. I'm just not really getting a lot of like citrus. heavy notes out of it. Again, that's my opinion. I don't know if that's to be expected for some people, but yeah, this is a very unique tasting IPA in a good way. Uh, and for full disclosure, this is the first time I've ever had beers that were prominently featuring Wai-iti or Vic Secret hops before, so that could definitely be playing into it. But yeah, I'm getting what I call like soft fruits, peaches, apricots. Any astringency coming through is like very light pine, very light grass. Again, kind of understandable floral notes, but they're definitely taking a back seat to those more soft fruit type flavors. And again, not really getting much uh, like lemon, limes, oranges, tangerines, anything like that. I'd say that the most astringent fruit character I think I might get is some kind of pineapple out of it. But definitely not really getting any alcohol out of it. I mean, 7.1, it's of course not what I would say in a boozy category, but at the same time, it tastes like a very sessionable IPA to me. It's not feeling heavy in the mouth. Yeah, so this is, as I try to do with all these beers, I try to, on the spot, with the flavor and the presentation, everything, for like, well, how would I, like, off the cuff, why would I get this beer and what would I use it for? If you're an IPA fan, yeah, give it a check, especially if you're a fan of New England IPAs. Despite the fact that it's 7.1, this thing is just taking me to a hot ass sunny dock somewhere where I want to fish. That's what it's feeling like. It's definitely got a kind of evocative, tropical, lackadaisical feeling to it. That could be probably from the fact that the mouthfeel has a nice kind of pillowy softness to it. Um, it feels like kind of a lounging hot weather beer. It doesn't taste. It's not like a lawnmower beer where it's something very light and you kind of want to drink in the immediacy of like feeling like you're parched and thirsty. It is refreshing, but this to me is much more something like you're anticipating you're going to be out somewhere hot for a while and you want a beer to kind of fit the tone of where you're going. This is like a perfect complement to it. Much as people would have like hot chocolate if they're going on a sleigh ride somewhere, this would be what you were taking if you were fishing off a dock. To me, that's kind of what I'm getting out of this beer. Yeah, I mean, as to be expected, like as it's warming up, the flavors are starting to meld a bit more. Not really getting anything new though. I'm not. It's not like a flavor is uncovering. It's warming up. They're just starting to kind of, to me, meld a little bit more. Mouth feels the same. Carbonation. The head's pretty much almost gone, but if you can see, there's still bubbles sloshing around the side. And every time I take a sip, I'm getting a nice percolation in the mouth, which is nice to kind of clean the finish. I guess this last thing I'd say on this is the finish. Pretty clean on it. I'm not really getting a ton of the malt character, and I think that that might be intentional with the fact that they've just like triple hit this thing with apparently some really powerful hops with great personality. But I mean, I'm not getting a lot of like hop sweetness. I mean, in the back of the tongue, I'm getting some residual sweetness just from the fact that I'm drinking a beer. But I'm not really able to, again, pinpoint much about the malt bill other than the fact that I think there might be oats in this, just because it does have a bit of a pillowy mouthfeel to it. But I'm not really getting any like big prominent like cereal notes or toast or crackers or rolls, croissants, anything like that. So, but yeah, folks, at the end of the day, I'd say if you find yourself in Macon, Georgia, hop on to downtown and go past 3rd Street. Come hungry because Piedmont's got some great food. And of course, they have a wide array of beer, many of which we'll cover here in the next couple of days. But yeah, I recommend this. If you're a fan of IPAs, give it a check. I'd even say if you're someone that isn't really a fan of IPAs, a lot of the people that have a very kind of stereotypical view of like, oh, IPAs are just super bitter, This is very different. This has a bit of an outlier profile to it, both in smell and in flavor too. Like this is a very unique IPA to me. I enjoyed this thoroughly. I definitely recommend it. So until next time, everybody, thank you again for joining me. If you've ever had this beer, if you have any questions about it, do you have any questions about the Macon, Georgia beer scene, drop a comment below. We'll have a discussion about it. If you like this video and you want more of me in the future, drop me a like and think about subscribing to the channel. But until next time, keep your mind sharp, your heart clean, and your upper lip bitter. We'll see you next time.